3 long days, some I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, part of the Pull Tab Sports family. I'm your host, Bobby Finn. Along with me is my cohort and fellow Millbrook'ian, Tommy Lord. Hi,
hey,
Tom.
Hi, Bobby. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And excited to be a Millbrookian with you going forward.
Yeah, I can't wait. So last weekend, Tom, I wanted to kind of give a little shout out right away. Last weekend, I was at a tribute and kind of a celebration of life for a guy I went to high school with. His name was Joey Bergdahl. Joey was in a band called Uncle Chunk for many years, and he played in front of huge crowds and just a really good dude, and passed away a couple months ago. So celebration of life, a lot of people got together at a place in Maplewood, Minnesota, and it was very sad, but it was kind of a touching event. Packed house, lots of laughs, lots of stories, lots of tears, but all in all, it was a really good event. I mean, his kid got up on stage and actually sat in place for him in the band, and it was really special. So just want to give a little shout out to Joey Bergdahl, Uncle Chunk. Rest in peace, and touched a lot of people in a positive way. So
yeah, we'll have to keep playing more Uncle Chunk. I saw them in concert, I think, a few times as well. We have a mutual friend between us who introduced me to the band, and I never got to meet Joey, but sounds like an awesome dude and bummer, right?
Yeah, very, very, very sad. But a lot of positive people or a lot of positive things came out of that.
Positive vibes.
Positive vibes.
How'd you know him?
Went to high school with him. He was a senior when I was a freshman and a hockey player, and kind of guy you look up to. I think it's second or third in city in scoring. So real good player. Big passion for hockey.
Hockey guy.
And
you were a hockey guy.
I was a hockey guy.
I was a hockey guy too, but I don't feel like I was a hockey guy like you were a hockey guy.
You never know.
I mean, if anything, I was a hockey guy more with my skates than with my fists. And I know you did some talking with your fists here and there.
Well, you had to do what you had to do.
You watched any of the Wild lately, that game? I mean, especially last night, or just the way they're going right now. They're humming along. Last night wasn't the greatest game, but I don't know. I feel like they got a good chemistry, a good team.
Yeah, the chemistry is fantastic. I think that's something special this year that they never had before. I mean, never had before. It seems like their whole team's looking out for each other and kind of playing for each other. Having fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, last night's game was intense.
Oh yeah. You know what I liked about last night's game? They didn't play great, but you get Foligno and mixing it up with, I don't know who the guy was. He fought him twice. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times those fights are so staged, and, they kind of square off. And Dumba went, and he went at the same time, which you could tell. In Greenway, yeah. Who did I say? Oh, I said Dumba. Yeah, Greenway and Foligno go at the same time. And then later in the game, they start mixing it up again. And Foligno I think they wrestled to the ground. And normally, the code is break it up, walk away, you're done. But Foligno tried to get on him and knee him a couple times, and people are like, "Oh my God, you can't do that."
Right.
Which, if you're fighting, you're pissed off, you want to go.
Yeah.
Which isn't the case anymore. A lot of times now they're just like, "Oh, we fight, and then let's shake hands," and it's a classy thing to do. But I kind of like that they're pissed off. I kind of like that they're like, "Hey, we're passionate. We want to play to win. We're here to battle, and sorry if I'm going to knee in the head on my way out after fighting."
Right. And that's what I mean about the chemistry and about the passion they have for each other. I think that this team will battle for each other and go to war for each other, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Bring it. Let's go.
Well, that's why Greenway stepped in, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to defend, because it looked like they kind of cheap shotted Foligno. So I don't know. See how that plays off as we move on. I don't think Winnipeg's going anywhere, though, are they?
I think they're a very underachieving team over the last few years. Had a lot of great players, but I just don't think, for some reason, the chemistry or the spark is there. But
right.
Yeah.
I got did you watch any of that All-Star game this weekend? Speaking of staying on the hockey train.
It was just terrible. I mean, it was just terrible.
The game wasn't terrible, though, right? I mean,
the 3-on-3 is fantastic.
Right.
I mean, you got to love all the stuff they're doing out there, but all the gimmicky bullshit that they had and all the skills competition, it was just terrible. I mean, hockey's one one sport with the All-Star game where keep it simple, right? Everybody wants to see who the fastest player is or fastest skater. Everyone wants to see the hardest shot and the most accurate shot. To come up with some of this costume crap was just terrible.
When did that whole thing start? Was it with basketball? Was it with like the dunk contest, and they started pulling out more and more props and gimmicks, and then it moves to the NHL where they're starting to pull out props and gimmicks, and
started with D. Brown, I think, covering his eyes on his. No, it's
it probably was.
Yeah, covering his eyes on his dunk. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's All-Star games in general. I mean, what good are they?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think they try to do the thing for the fans where they're, there's the breakaway, like the real breakaway deal, where I've heard the players don't want to put any of their moves out there because they don't want the goalies to know what their moves are, their actual moves are. So they're doing stupid stuff that they would never do in a game. And then you've got the breakaway deal where they're actually putting on costumes, and the band thing was the dumbest thing ever. Actually, I think the Kirill thing wasn't the coolest thing either. It was just like, I'm going to pay homage to OV, which, is cool because the guy can't be there. He just got COVID, but.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't know. and then you get the band comes out for the guy from Vegas, and they start beating the drums, and then I don't even know if that was like interesting or not. And then horrible. And then he wins because it was so good, all right, because he was from Vegas, and they brought out the Vegas marching band, which they could have brought a lot of other things out. I mean, that might have been more interesting if they brought out other Vegas tricks. And
yeah, there was a scene from the Capitals and Knights Stanley Cup a couple years ago that after they won the cup, I don't know if you remember this or not, but Ovechkin's going around with the cup, and then all of a sudden the players start looking back, and it was some girl.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
So
she was
great.
flashing them on the glass, right?
That's great.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about that would be a true Vegas.
That was a Vegas night.
Yes, yeah. That would have been way better. So I don't know. I do like the 3-on-3 aspect, though. And I like how they split into like 4 teams, and then they play, and they seem like they want to win. And I don't know.
I think that is, as far as All-Star game goes, that competition side of it is the best. I think they do work hard, and they do it. What, do you get $1 million?
Right.
So that's pretty cool. And I think what stole the show, the whole thing, though, was Trevor Zegras.
Yeah, Zegras is a stud.
How does he do it? It's crazy what he does.
I almost felt like that was set up. It's not, right? I know it's not, but it felt kind of like, it was like, there's no way he could do that. That was a magic trick. There you go. There's your Vegas bit, right? That was a magic trick.
You watch his, you can YouTube his, warm-ups, and this kid is doing this stuff every day. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He's changed the game.
So he goes on a breakaway. He's blindfolded. He Michigan's the puck. He lacrosse styles the puck. Spins. I think he did some kind of spin, and then he
had one hand. He had one hand on the stick, and he's still cradling the puck.
And he shot it in the corner past the goalie, which, the goalies don't save anything, but that literally he wouldn't have saved it anyway.
No, it was incredible for sure.
Yeah. So I dig that. Maybe they should just get away with give All-Star games a break. Maybe they should just get away from the whole thing.
Yeah, I think anybody who deserves to get to the All-Star nod for any sport should just get it. Get your money, get your incentives, and be done. Take a break.
And football is the worst.
Oh, God, it's pathetic.
Football is the absolute worst because no linemen are going to block anybody. Nobody's actually going to tackle anybody because they don't want to get hurt. So they just they hike the ball, they stand up. Do they still play a game, or do they just do flag football?
No, if you call it a game, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Did you see the Kirk Cousins thing thrown into he was trying to throw it into the holes, and they have now they have a defensive back there to block them, but
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's crazy to me.
It's for the fans, Bobby. It's for you and I and the fans everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
Well, I've talked about the Wild All-Star game. Let's. What about the Gophers, the amateur side?
I love the Gophs.
Yeah,
I love
big
the
Gopher
Gophs.
fan.
I just worry that they're going to lose all their players this year, and they lost LaFontaine to the pros.
The kid had to go. I mean, if you got the opportunity to go to the bigs right away,
you do. And you're getting paid, and you get a spot. Yeah. Done deal.
Too many injuries. Give it an opportunity for him. The kid had to go.
Oh yeah, but then you got the other guys going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
But every team, I guess, not every team, but all the good teams have a couple guys going to the Olympics. I don't know. I love watching those guys play, but I hope they can hang on. I would think, I don't know.
They're going to be back in a couple weeks, right?
Are they? Yeah, I guess you're right.
Who knows with quarantine and everything else? Jeez.
God, that would suck.
Yeah,
because they're really good.
They're looking good.
But I kind of expected them to be better this year. Like I'm a big Gopher Rube, right? And I kind of thought they were going to be top 3. But that's just me like looking at the team last year. They were really good, and they brought all their players back, and they added some big boys. That Matthew Nice dude. Ooh, he's good.
Yeah,
he's
they got
star.
They have some stars. Absolutely.
I think he's better than that Gentry kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that Gentry kid's good. What's his name again?
Lucius.
He's good.
Yeah.
I'd take. I would give my kid all that talent in the world, but that Nice kid he's just like big and beastly and can score. He's gonna be awesome in the Olympics, and I guess that's the one thing I am looking forward to. Even though I'm bummed the Gophs aren't going to be as good as there should be for the next 2 weeks, but with the lack of you get the sorry, now I'm missing it. Let me back up. You got the World Juniors got canceled, and now you've got all those players though now playing in the Olympics. It's kind of like the
watered down.
No, but it's like the World Juniors on crack.
Oh yeah.
So it's not going to be quite the Olympics. It's not the All-Star game of all the players, but it is going to be like, all right, take what the World Juniors was, now bring in some, a little bit older players, talented players, and they're going to be. Should be really fun to watch. I don't know anybody on any of the other teams, Russia or
Yager. Is he on one of the teams?
He should be, dude. How sweet would that be?
Jeez, a big butt.
Well, he retired last year, right?
Did he?
He could play.
Jeez, he might be playing in Europe somewhere still.
Yeah, he could play. Who's the Gopher that's coming back? Aaron Ness, who I think he played for the Gophers a few years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's on a roster for the Olympics. That's pretty sweet. Yeah,
that's very sweet. That he's related to the Nesses with the skating instructor, right?
I would guess.
Yeah,
I never put 2 and 2 together, but I would guess.
He's a great skater, so I only imagine that's who it is.
Did you ever skate with Ness?
I did not, but funny story. I got my daughter, brought her to kind of learn how to skate.
Yeah.
And this was when she was 8 years old, maybe even younger. And then all these other kids were learning how to play hockey, but she had learned how to skate. So she's with these kids that couldn't even skate. It was pretty funny. She's probably still mad at me about it. But she's a great skater. So
maybe that's why she's so good.
They did something right.
I thought you were going to say something else, but it sounds good. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So speaking of the girls hockey, it's 8 Gophers on that USA team. 2 current and 6 former Gophers. Pretty cool.
So where are those 6 former Gophers playing now? They play in the Whitecaps League?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to keep playing in order to keep up on this USA team. So I'm sure they're still playing in that Whitecaps League.
Yeah, for sure. Who's the girl who just got hurt? Decker? Brianna Decker.
Brianna Decker. Yeah.
She's done, right? I
think she hurt her knee or hurt her leg pretty bad. So she's probably out.
How's the Gophs female squad this year?
Solid. I think they're probably 7 or something like that in the rankings. But there's Minnesota has so many good teams. I mean, there's so many good players in high school hockey right now to get to the college side. But yeah, it's pretty fun to watch.
Well, Bobby Finn knows everybody. The coach of the Gophs, right?
Yeah, him and I coached our boys hockey team back in Squirts down in Cottage Grove.
Is he a Cottage Grove guy?
He lives there, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a Canadian guy, but he lives in Cottage Grove.
So you're saying great people come out of Cottage Grove?
Great people at one point have lived there.
Me included,
for
those who don't know.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
What else do we know about? So the Gophs, we've got LaFontaine gone. Female squad's looking good. I'm surprised they're not 1 and 2 with Wisconsin and up there a little bit more, but you're saying they're they're down a little bit this year. You're saying you're not a big fan of the Gophers?
No, there's a lot of good competition. There's a lot of good programs, and more D1 schools are getting added all the time. So the girls side of hockey is growing significantly.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tracking. How about so the Gophers coach? What's your connection back to Gopher men's? You got were you a Woo guy? Were you a
funny story about Woo?
Herb Brookser? I know you're a East Sider. Herbie Brooks?
Yeah, I didn't meet Herb ever. No.
Okay.
everybody's seen Miracle a million times, but funny story about Woog. His assistant asked me to coach a weekend, throw together all-star team or whatever. So I ended up doing it, and we got our ass kicked by everybody. And Woog comes up to me at Joe Sensors in Bloomington and says, "Why would you do something like this? You're pretty much a terrible coach." I'm like, I didn't want to do this. Are you crazy? But it was funny. He ripped on me right to my face.
He ripped on your coaching?
Right to my face.
Wow. I remember one of the first times I met you, I asked you to help coach. I was like, hey, grab your stuff. I need help with this team.
Did we lose?
It was just practice.
Oh.
But the next game, though, we definitely lost. We got killed because we were not prepared.
We weren't prepared.
I'm joking.
No.
So Brooks, I'll tell you my Brooks story. So I am working in advertising, but one of my first jobs was working at this agency, and our account person I used to work for, she left. They replaced her with this other woman, and she comes in, and she's really nice, and we were, talking and hanging out for the longest time, just months of working together. And she said, oh, blah, 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 blah. My boyfriend is this guy, and he, he's a hockey player, and we're kind of a hockey family anyway, so he'll fit right in, and da-da-da. She's like, oh, yeah, my dad coached hockey. And I was like, oh, yeah, whose dad doesn't coach hockey when you live in Minnesota? You and I coach hockey. And I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, he's kind of, he's coached a lot of different teams. I was like, oh, yeah, who's your dad? She's like, oh, Herb. And I was like, Herb. I mean, this is too like late 90s. So I was like, oh, yeah, Herb. I don't know who's Herb. And I was like, I didn't want to embarrass her, say I don't know who it is, and she just walks away, and I looked at her nameplate, and it was Kelly Brooks, and it was like, oh my God, that's Herb Brooks' daughter. I've been working with her for months, and I had no idea. But this is before the movie. This is before there's always steam about the '80s Olympic team, but before the movie comes out, it was oh yeah, great team, whatever. But I was just felt so stupid the rest of the time I worked there. I was like, I don't know who you are, and I never made mention of your dad. But maybe that's how celebs like to live,
right.
Under the radar.
Yeah. Speaking of the Olympics, Tommy, what do you think of the Olympics so far?
I didn't think I was going to get into the Winter Olympics, but it's actually pretty good. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of stars. I'm finding myself more and more flipping back and forth to checking out the Olympics. So far it's just the jumps and the figure skaters, which is awesome. I want to talk about one thing with the jumps. So the big ski jump thing. Yeah.
Man-made built thing right next to the nuclear reactors. It's like,
what is the nuclear reactor?
Really? You want to show how you got nukes or what? Come on.
Do you think they're trying to impose their will on the U.S. and everybody? You mess with us, we will fire these things up.
Yeah, I'd hate to be Japan right now.
When I was first watching, they'd go over the jump, and you see the wide shot, and you're like, oh wow, that's a cool backdrop. The logo's right there, and it's just they're so high up. It looks really cool. But then you're like, is that a nuclear reactor? What is that thing? But I guess it's an old wheat plant or a farming plant.
That's what they call it now?
Yeah.
Code.
We do not have weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it's very cool. Freaking huge jump building made in downtown Beijing. Oh, God. But
how about how big those how high up they are, and how
it's incredible.
I would just die. I would S my P's for sure. I would not stand up there. I would not look down. I would even just it reminds me of the documentary I just watched about the alpinist, it's called The Alpinist, where he's, free soloing and no ropes. He's just climbing, and it's I would rather die. I would rather die than be on top of that ski jump. And they go down backwards, and they just sit on the side. And
it's insane. Yeah. Speaking of that girl from the U.S., mom's Chinese, dad's American. She somewhat defected to China.
Yeah. She's the figure skater, right?
No, she was the ski jumper.
Oh, she's the ski jumper.
Yeah. She was, she ended up getting a great score. And so the gold was coming her way, but the last skier had to try some crazy shit that she probably wasn't going to make, and she didn't make it. So she's the one who fell probably 20 feet right on her back. It was crazy. I was like, poor kid.
So there's So there's her, and then there's the figure skater that defected too, and that's getting all that shit on social media in China.
Yeah, I don't even get it because she fell twice. Now you go back to America.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that's. I don't think there's anything wrong with like, okay, well, I feel like I'm Chinese. My parents are Chinese, or maybe my mom or dad is Chinese, and I feel like I want to like, compete for this country, and then she gets over there and she kind of like doesn't do so well, and people are ready to freaking end her.
Yeah. Hopefully she gets out of China. Cripes.
I'm even surprised that, she was getting blasted on social media, right? I'm even surprised that people can blast someone on social media. Like
over in China.
Yeah, right. Like, wouldn't you think everything was shut down? Like you can't really say what you want to say. And in fact, before you said that, I was like, is there even social media in China? Like, I know there's TikTok. But there's a Twitter, there's a Facebook. I don't know. You'd think all that shit would get just shut down and say, nope.
Yeah, I think if she would have won the gold and they blasted her, that would probably been a no-no and went out. But since she failed miserably, they'd get rid of her.
Right. Now, how about so we were talking, there's the girl who got, I don't know, she was just like, I don't know if she was molested by somebody or she was...
the tennis player.
The tennis player. Yeah. That's it. Right.
She had sexual allegations and then disappears for like 3 months and now comes back and says nothing. Nothing ever happened. Right. Sure, her family's not around anymore.
So did she defect?
No, she just disappeared in China.
Okay. Wow.
Like, yeah, we all know what happened there.
Oh my God. So she made allegations.
Mm-hmm.
They found her and said, no, none of this happened. There's no such thing that happened over here.
Yeah.
And then now she's just like, okay, sounds good.
Everything's good. Yeah.
God, too bad Penn State didn't operate that like that. They probably would have been,
they would have been back earlier.
Dang, that's awful.
Yeah.
What else do you think with the Olympics? What else you watching?
Well, that figure skater, the male figure skater, was it Chang?
Yeah, Nathan Chen.
Yeah, Chen. He's got both parents are Chinese, right?
God, I mean, just think if China would have kept all those people, they would just freaking roll.
Yeah, well, good thing we're the melting pot of the world, right?
The melting pot.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though, right? A lot of people from a lot of different areas, different diversity, different religion, different everything, playing sports for America. That's
great. And like I said before, on the other thing is like if you feel like you want to go and compete for the other country, then you go and compete for the other country. But like, look at how many different diversities we have with people competing for the U.S. Nathan Chen, and I mean, that's outstanding. What is like, and I heard this one time, and I can't claim it for my own, but like, you don't get that in other countries, and you probably get that in some, I should say, but you don't get that like China, like they're all Chinese.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, really, nobody else is gonna like come in there, and you didn't move there when you were a kid, or you didn't like grow up playing and working out, and now you just like feel like you've assimilated and you're going to be a part of that. You just like America, you get that,
Heard Dennis Rodman's playing for the North Korean basketball team.
He should.
That would be great.
I'd be happy to have him.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's always something that I always like think about is like, I don't know, like Japan, they all are Japanese. In China, they all are Chinese. And the U.S., you got all sorts of different people, which I think is still like this makes me like a proud American of this melting pot of we bring in people and
somehow to the most part, we coexist, right?
Yeah. I
mean, obviously, and everywhere shit happens, but at the same time, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully, more times than not, I think we coexist. But every so often you get this, whatever, it's bad. Yeah. So, okay, let's see. I want to jump over to talk about another thing that's coming up. What a great time it is to be a sports fan. Super Bowl Sunday.
Big day.
You hyped? You got a team?
I kind of rooting for the Bengals, but I just don't know how they can beat the Rams. I think the Rams defense is just so good. So I'd have to go with the Rams.
Right.
What do you think?
Icky Shuffle is coming back.
Icky Shuffle. He was on the sidelines at the last game.
Dude, of course he was.
Great.
Can you name, you could probably do this because you're a massive sports fan. I am. Actually, I am too, but name a couple more Bengals. Can you name 5? Could you name 5 Bengals?
Yeah. Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason.
Ken Anderson.
Yeah. What's his name? Collinsworth.
Yep. That was the one I was going to go with. I forgot about Boomer.
James Brooks.
James Brooks.
Yeah.
Okay, name one within the last 5 years that's not Joe Burrow or
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, right?
Joe Mixon.
Name one that was not on the team 5 years ago.
Not on the team 5 years ago?
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
Jeez. No.
But that's why I think it's cool. That's why I think it's cool that they're in the bowl, right?
Yeah,
Can we say Super Bowl on the show, or are we going to get sued?
I don't know. We'll take our chances, I think.
You have trademark approval.
Super Bowl. There's a hyphen under there.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I'm kind of pulling for I'm kind of pulling for Stafford.
Yeah.
How shitty would you feel if you're Jared Goff?
Oh my God.
It's like you are the problem. We never made the Super Bowl, obviously, because look at us now.
It's incredible. Yeah, feel terrible for him for sure. But I think most quarterbacks would have went to the Rams with that team.
Yeah,
would have dominated.
And they bulked up. They still have they brought in other players too.
They brought in Odell, Von Miller, and they're superstars, and that's kind of obviously McVay must be doing something well, because to get all those personalities to mesh,
right,
is a hard thing.
Well, winning cures everything.
Yes, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Vikings and they got the offensive coordinator, right?
They got
From
the
Rams.
The head coach, the Rams coach.
They got the Rams offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so he's the head coach now.
Right, for the Vikes.
Yep.
So are you thinking all right, this guy's a coach, or does he just have the tools at his disposal? That's why they were so good. That always kind of makes me nervous.
That's a tough one, because McVay seems to be the genius, right? Mm-hmm. And he knew what was going on. He knew 2 or 3 years ago in the 10th play of a game. He's got a photographic memory. So I don't know how much you can put into an offensive coordinator when the other guy's calling everything. Right. And you have those tools.
Right, for sure. I don't know either. I'm kind of I'm optimistic. It's going to be good. I like Kwesi. He sounds sweet. It sounds like he knows what he's doing. He's got a good personality. I like that he's humble. He says good stuff.
Yeah, I was really happy and not surprised, but to hear his acceptance, or when he first got here and he was talking about his mom. Yeah. He teared up, and it was pretty cool. And that just makes me really like the guy even more. Right. So that was cool.
Yeah, super cool. Seems smart.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about the halftime show?
Oh, it's going to be lit.
You like it?
Yeah, just me saying lit, does that make me sound like I'm down with Dre and Snoop? It's going to be, I'm really I think it's the halftime show I've maybe looked forward to the most.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty entertaining for sure. Even though I think Snoop sold out when he's doing stuff with Martha Stewart, but he's still pretty freaking
Corona on the beach.
Geez.
But the thing is, he's still doing stuff with Martha Stewart, but he's making her smoke pot with him. He's like, hey, you're going to come down to my level.
Bringing her over.
Bending her over. Bringing her over.
Bringing her over.
Okay, bringing her over. He might be.
Maybe.
He might be hitting it. I don't know.
Maybe.
He's got a wife. He's like a married man, right? He's got kids playing sports and.
I don't know. I think he's got kids in sports, but I don't know. I don't know if it matters for somebody coming from New Jack City or wherever.
He's got a hall pass.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be sweet. What I do like about it too is they're not meshing 14 genres together and maybe they will. Maybe that's the big secret. They're going to bring out Garth Brooks halfway through and they're going to do a rap country song. Hopefully not, but good. Being a kid of the 80s, 90s, Dre and Snoop and Eminem, I even Mary J. Blige. I was down with that. Okay. I'm a kind of a New Jack Swing kind of hip hop fan. I don't know if you're familiar with that term because I'm a white guy from Cottage Grove, but I dig real. That. That's real. Kendrick Lamar, I don't know. My kids will be down with Kendrick Lamar, but me, I don't know. Maybe not so much. How about the gambling side of things? How about the spread and the coin toss and the, who's going to kick the longest field goal? You got some wagers you're going to jump in on?
I don't have anything yet, but I like I said, I think the Rams are going to win, but I do this thing called a teaser.
Okay.
So you get to move the spread 6 points on 2 different bets. So I can get the Bengals plus 10.5 points, and then I can move the over-under down to 42. So that's making it look a lot better for me. So that's what I'm leaning towards.
So there are different categories you can move that number on?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could take the Rams and the Bengals and move the spread 6 points in that favor.
What's the spread?
It is 4.5. So the Rams by 4.5, and then over under is 48.
All right. Okay. I'd rather like go buy a shirt than lose $30 on the Super Bowl. That's kind of how my cheap ass works. But I'm definitely buying a board. Definitely get some numbers going. Sports is always better when you're gambling on it. But like, there's so many things like all these prop bets you can put money on.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But speaking of gambling, we used to have to go to Vegas to gamble, right?
Right.
Now you go to Diamond Joe's down in Iowa, and now Turtle Lake, they're putting one in, a sports book. Should be done in a month.
What?
Yeah. March Madness over there.
See, I'm not a big Vegas guy, but I would sit at a sports book all day.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
We know a friend that has a cabin on a lake right by Turtle Lake.
Dangerous.
So
did you already like call it for like March Madness and
trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to just go to overnight there some night when there's 10 games going on and just throw a quarter on each one.
Oh yeah.
It'd be fun.
Do you do that a lot in Vegas? Is that your jam? You were at that big pool, weren't you, with like all the TVs and up on the rooftop?
Yeah, that was incredible.
Circa.
Brand new place. It was pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite, but whatever.
We'll do this show in Circa next time. They do have a booth there right at the sports book. It's pretty cool.
What's your craziest gambling story?
Well, it's funny.
I bet you have a few, like, and probably bookies coming after you, or like people trying to like, I don't know, you name it, like steal your money, or what do you got?
Well, funny with Vegas, let's just start at Vegas. When I was 21, I was out there for a softball tournament. And
danger.
Yeah, I didn't have much money to me in my life back then. So I had $600 when I went out there, and that's nothing in Vegas. So with about 2.5 days to go, we're getting ready to leave for a softball game at 8 a.m. And I had $10 left. $10 for 2.5 days in Vegas.
And your buddies are all like, I'm not carrying you anymore. You're done.
Yeah. Okay, my mom's going to receive a call here soon. And
right.
Yeah, but so we're getting ready to leave, and I throw $1 in a Keno machine. And I put 3, 13, 12, 3, 13, 23, 33, 12, and 14. It's in the form of the cross. And I look up and I'm like, can I get some help down here? I had all 6 numbers for $1,600 on $1. It was nuts. The thing was going off. We were late for our softball game then. But it was hilarious.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. It felt like Pac-Man Jones after that.
So you put $1 down, and how many numbers would you normally hit on? I've never played Keno. I don't know.
Well, I think you only bet usually a couple, 2, 3, 4, because the odds are more in your favor. 6, 1,600 to 1.
Yeah.
So I hit it. It's so funny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'll never forget that.
Well done.
Yeah,
well done, buddy.
It was fun. But no, it was great. Great first time.
Yeah.
Glad you're a part of it.
Thanks for having me. I had a good time chatting, shooting the shit with you, talking sports, kicking back. You gonna have me again?
This is open for you anytime you want to come. But
are you sure?
Yeah.
Like I call out your gambling stories, and I don't know, just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, it sells, right? It sells.
Right.
But no, we just want to thank everybody for listening. And like I always say, be good. Don't be a dick.
That's yes.